I swear I'm gonna fight Optimum. Do 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 do. Then let's bam, bam, bam. Hopefully that's the last time I have to do that. Optimum, cut it out. Alright, we're here to talk about funny video game weapons. Not scream at ISPs! I'm gonna fight Optimum, I swear. Good lord. Anyway. Real quick recap, and hopefully the fucking feed is done exploding. Guns. Guns in Call of Duty. Especially Black Ops 2. They take bullets to kill. We're gonna use the formula to calculate how long roughly it takes for your gun to kill. And then using that and the various other things about the gun, like the iron sights, like the ammo, blah 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 blah, like all that junk. And talk about the weapons. AN-94. I was just getting into the time to kill. I did the calculation already to make it easier on myself, so you know I'm not sitting here wasting time with my dick in my hand. I have better things to do. So. Anyway, yeah, so AN-94's time to kill is 0.128 milliseconds, which is incredibly fast. Alright. Also, yes, because of how fast those two bullets fire, they basically fire with no recoil, and which means also your third shot is almost always also guaranteed. So it's also incredibly accurate, which is going to be a thing I bring up later. Don't worry, I'll talk about Call of Duty guns and accuracy in a moment. But just know that, yeah, the gun fires fast, has good damage for good range, and hits very hard for very far. Very, very far. It's a very, very good weapon. And the iron sights are practically perfect. Like, it's really hard to pick better iron sights. On top of all that junk, the AN-94 otherwise has pretty similar movement and handling stats to other assault rifles. If you do decide to fully automatically fire it, the recoil can actually start climbing it, but because of how slow the sustained fire rate is, honestly, it's pretty decent to handle even after that. A standard ammunition capacity of 30 rounds with 120 spare, which is pretty nice. If you use select fire on this weapon, it will fire in a 2-round burst, but then you, of course, get really weird burst delay, so why would you do that? Just shoot it fully automatic. Now, all in all, the AN-94 is a very clear GOAT tier weapon, and I don't think that's going to be to anyone's surprise. It is debatably the best assault rifle in the game, and I'm only saying that because this game is very good assault rifles, and there will be one that will give it a lot of competition later. But yeah, the AN-94 is essentially the perfect package. Only really brought down truly if you never decide to tap fire it. But it's extremely easy to tap fire it, so I don't find that too much of a negative, to be quite honest. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring up that fact later when we're talking about other weapons. Because, oh, believe me, I will point out some funny hypocrisies and fallacies when talking about other weapons, and as far as a skill floor and skill ceiling as far as they will be concerned. Because Call of Duty is a very, 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 very simple first-person shooter to play. Full autos is better than burst unless your name is Tycom SWAT or B-23R. We'll get there. Speak of the devil. This is the B-23R, aka the Bear, aka the Beater. Now, something I need to mention right now before we get into the rest of these. Black Ops 2 debatably has some of the best pistols in the series, rivaled only realistically by new Modern Warfare 3. The pistols in Black Ops 2 are all, except one of them, very good. So, the B-23R does 45, dropping down to 19 damage, which is honestly pretty damn good, with a 3-hit kill range of about 12 meters, which is pretty good. And it is a 3-round burst pistol. That is very important. Not better than burst, literally just a better burst. Yes. Fun fact, if you use dual wield with this thing, it actually changes the last digit, the last damage range from 19 to 24. So you actually, this gun is extremely forgiving if you go akimbo. That will not be a common occurrence. Most guns usually lose damage when they go akimbo. As for the rate of fire, because this is a burst fire, hey, fun fact, did you know that this gun actually technically functions like the AN-94 when you burst fire it? Yeah, the first 2 rounds actually shoot out 1,250 rounds per minute, with the next round coming out at 937. Now, get ready to see those numbers a lot. Giving this weapon an overall rate of fire of about 703 rounds per minute. Now, the actual... Now, I bring up the rate of fire in this particular instance because the 1250 number for the rounds per minute, that's the same as the Scorpion. So yeah, as you might imagine, because of that, this gun has an insanely fast time to kill. Let's pop it up here really quick. Let's do it. Bam, math. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, whoops. Nobody said there'd be math! Anyway, 60 divided by 1250. Oh, I forgot to mention while talking about time to kill. If you're wondering why it's called the N-1 formula, Call of Duties during this era use hit scan bullets. Basically, what that means is the game checks to see if you're actually aiming at the person you're shooting at, and then it will be like, are you aiming at them? Yes. If so, do damage. If not, don't do damage. And it is instant. There is no bullet travel time in Call of Duty until later Call of Duties. And even then, the Call of Duties nowadays essentially have adaptive hit scan ability where they'll only stop being hit scanned after a certain range based on your bullet velocity. But that's not going to matter for this, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, thankfully the Call of Duty wiki here has the overall rate of fire because of the burst and the doing the math for me. The overall rate of fire is 703 rounds per minute, which is pretty nice, giving us a time to kill of 0.17, which is really good. And naturally that will drop off of ranges, but because this is going to be actually pretty important, most guns in Black Ops 2 have extremely low burst delay. What's burst delay? It's the time you have to take in between burst using a burst fire weapon. So when you press it and it goes bap bap bap, right? Normally you can't just mash it. Right? The gun essentially has to breathe, as it were, afterwards in order to keep on firing it. This gun does have a burst delay. It's extremely low, but it has one. Oh, man. Other than that, the ammo capacity is 15 rounds in one magazine. So that's also really good. Overall, the B-23R is extremely good. It is, again, one of the best weapons in the series. You might want to refresh or something. Or maybe I want to refresh. Who knows? We all want to refresh. Phone magic. Why are you phone magicking right now? Oh, the ghost of Streamlabs is going to be sending me off, like, a bunch of false reports now that my stream has ended. That's going to be fun. Thanks, Optimum. Close, though. It's, yeah, it's 1.7. Or it's 0.17, right? Which is fast. But yeah, the B-23R is great. It's not going to be in GOAT tier, though. And there's just like topping it. Okay. It's not going to be in GOAT tier. There is going to be one pistol in GOAT tier, and it's not this one. This one's very good. It's not going to be in GOAT tier. But just, I'm going to be real. Most of the pistols here are going to be in great. Just keep that in mind. It's good. It's very good. Up next, the Ballista Sniper Rifle. Alright, now I got to talk about snipers. Now, snipers do not work like other weapons in Call of Duty, generally, because they have, hit zone multipliers. You see, up until the more recent Call of Duties, most weapons in older Call of Duties only really cared about anywhere except the head. It was basically the entire body except the head was, hit zones. But then there are snipers. Snipers have damage multipliers based on where you hit. There's, of course, the head, but then there's upper torso, middle torso, lower torso, arms, legs, etc. So, the Ballista has 95 damage. It will deal double damage if you hit the head or neck, or 50% damage if you hit the upper torso, middle torso, and upper arms. So basically, imagine, like, belly button up, and then elbows in. If you hit in any of those areas, it's a one-shot kill. If you hit the hands, it's not going to count. If you hit the forearms, it's not going to count. If you hit the dick, it's not going to one-shot. So keep that in mind. Now, on top of that, the Ballista is bolt action. What the hell does that mean? Well, it means you have to manually cock the bolt after shooting, which basically just extends or substantially lowers your rate of fire. Like, that's all it means in practical sense. The overall rate of fire for this weapon is 47 rounds per minute, which is pretty damn slow. But it's a sniper rifle, a bolt action sniper rifle. That's going to be common. Now, because this gun's bolt action, you basically don't have to worry about recoil. It's going to be like that for a lot of sniper rifles, but just keep that in mind. The Ballista also lets you move slightly faster than other sniper rifles, moving at 96% base movement speed, instead of the usual 90, I believe it is. You also strafe faster too, which is also pretty nice. relatively long ADS time for guns in general, but fastest ADS time for sniper rifles at 350 milliseconds. That's very important because this gun was the quickscoper's gun of choice. If you were going to quickscope in Black Ops 2, this was the gun you were using it with instead of usually the other one. But we'll talk about the other one soon. So yeah, other than that, the Ballista has the same suite of attachments that other snipers do, although it is unique in that it is the only sniper that has an iron sight option in this game, which is quite fun. And of course you have a magazine size of 7 rounds, which is honestly pretty damn good. That's actually a very good number. 7 rounds is really good for a sniper rifle. So yeah, the Ballista is great. I don't think it's the best sniper in the game though. We'll get to the other one in a moment. But the Ballista is great. Absolutely, it's great. If you're a quickscoper, you prefer this one over the other one, usually. Now, when I say other one, you might be like, well, Dragon Knight, there's 4 snipers. What do you mean, other one? Yeah, we'll get there. Next. The Ballistic Knife. So, really quickly, knifing. Knifing in Call of Duty basically works with a proximity. If you hit the melee button and your opponent is within range, you will knife and they will die. If your opponent is basically at the tip of your range, you will lunge after them. And then stab them that way, which is pretty handy. So the ballistic knife, the most important difference, aside from the fact that you can shoot the knife compared to the regular combat knife available in Black Ops 2, is the fact that it has a longer lunge range than the regular knife. Also, an important change they made to it in Black Ops 2 as opposed to Black Ops 1. You now no longer need to manually hold the pick up button to pick up knives. You can just walk over them. Thank fuck. So yeah. Other than that, is there any real merit to using the ballistic knife? No, not really. This is a weapon you pick because you want to pick it. It's not a good idea. Don't listen. Anything you do with this weapon will one-hit kill. Whether you hit them with the actual projectile of it or you knife them, it will one-hit. That's not a great idea. An important thing to note: the ballistic knife has a slower movement speed than just the regular combat knife. Other than that, though, yeah, don't use it if you want. It's a for fun weapon. Next. Oh boy. Alrighty. I get to talk some shit. But not to this gun. And you want to know why? This gun is often most cited as one of the worst guns in the series for some reason, or at the very minimum, one of the worst guns in this game. Neither are true, and let me tell you why. This is the Tricom CQB. This is a burst SMG. Skill issue. Oh boy, are we getting there. So let's talk about it. So, the Tricom deals 33 dropping to 18 damage. That makes it a 4 to 6 hit kill. Now, what is the fire rate of this weapon? Well, the fire rate of this weapon, the bullets, it is a 3-round burst, so do keep that in mind, is 1250. Hey, that number seems a little familiar, like you just mentioned it or something. Yeah, I just did. This gun has a burst speed of 1250. Well, That's really fast. It has to have like a really long burst delay or something, right? No. This gun has 0 burst delay. You can literally mash this button like a fucking gorilla and shoot this thing at max speed with 0 issues. Just straight up. This gun literally shoots as, like, you can just mash it. Just mash the button. Knock, knock, never yield. That's it. That's all you need to do. Yeah, just smash it. Now, I mentioned earlier, that rate of fire is the exact same as the Scorpion. The Scorpion is often cited as the fastest shooting gun in this game, because it is. This gun shoots as fast as the Scorpion. And we're not done yet. You see, because this gun is burst fire, this gun has insanely low recoil. Not just for SMGs, just straight up, period. It just has really low recoil, which is really good. It makes it very controllable. Now, the iron sights are a bit iffy for this gun, but honestly, because the gun doesn't really need all that much work, you're not hurting for attachments on this weapon like you are other weapons, so honestly, just put on your optic of choice and have fun. Me personally, I always really like putting the EOTech sights on this one. Has a magazine size of 36 rounds, which is pretty nice. 48 if you go with the extended rounds, which is a pretty good option, kind of. You see, extended rounds increases the amount of time it takes for you to reload, and that is one area where this gun suffers in comparison to the Scorpion. The Scorpion has a very quick reload cancel time. This one doesn't. The reload is definitely longer on this weapon than it is the Scorpion, but if you manage it, you'll live. So, this gun shoots as fast as the Scorpion, does the same amount of damage as the Scorpion, is more accurate than the Scorpion. You might be asking, well, Dragonite, what's the downside? There isn't one. If I'm being perfectly honest, I mentioned earlier, Call of Duty is a very accessible first-person shooter. Which means a lot of people who basically don't play video games or do not play too many video games also play Call of Duty. Which usually ends up causing issues because that usually means ever so slightly harder to use but better weapons are often chastised. This gun is one of those examples. This gun is a burst fire gun that does not have the downsides of a burst fire gun, and people still hate it because people don't like burst fire guns. Get over yourself. This gun is good, you're just bad at the game. If you can use the Scorpion, you can use this gun. If you can use the AN-94, and that's why I'm bringing this up, the AN-94 is unquestionably considered one of the best weapons in this game. Without hesitation. Everyone knows how good the AN-94 is, and you need to do literally the exact same thing to make the AN-94 better than this gun. Right? In order to make the AN-94 good, you need to do the literal same thing that you need to do with this weapon, that you need to do with the M8A1, that you need to do with literally every other burst weapon. Because, fun fact, if you don't do that with the AN-94, it has a lower than average time to kill, but if you do it, then it makes it better. So, if you can go tap, 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 tap for the AN-94, why can't you do that for this? Huh? So yeah, Tricom. Tricom is good. Just straight up. If someone tells you that this gun is bad, that's like a revealer. That lets you know immediately, oh, there's a skill issue present. Now, all that being said, do not get it twisted. This gun is still average for this game. I want to make that clear. There are absolutely better to use SMGs. That does not mean this one is bad. This one can absolutely eke out wins. It's just that the ones that are really, really good are really, really good in this game. do keep that in mind. Cause yeah, oh boy. Like, every time I see a video of someone shit-talking the Chicom, I'm like, oh, you're not good at pressing a button repeatedly, are you? And normally, I would be like, you know what, I get it, because for a lot of burst weapons, you do have to deal with the burst delay, right? You have to put up with that rhythmic pressing in order to maximize the output of the burst weapon. I get that. This gun literally doesn't have a burst delay. You can mash it like a gorilla. There is no excuse. You are bad. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. This gun also has better range than the Scorpion. So, yeah, keep that in mind. This gun, I'm being perfectly honest. Literally, aside from, like, reload time and iron sights, this gun is basically either identical or better than the Scorpion. Just straight up. Next. Ah, the crossbow. Good old crossbow. So the crossbow is actually kind of important to mention, because Black Ops 2 was the first Black Ops game that has riot shields, and the crossbow is the perfect counter to riot shields. Other than that, what makes the crossbow the crossbow? Why would I want to use the crossbow instead of a gun? Honestly, unless you're dealing with riot shields, great question. So, the thing that makes the crossbow a good counter to riot shields is the fact that they blow up. The initial hit does 40 damage, and then the explosion will deal 150 down to 25 damage in a radial area, because it is an explosive. That's how explosives work in Call of Duty. Granted, you basically have to be inside of someone in order to kill multiple people with one crossbow bolt, but, you know, it can happen. Important thing to mention. I didn't mention this with the crossbow, or with the ballistic knife. I'm going to mention here. These weapons do not use hit scan. These weapons are actual projectiles, and they follow a parabolic arc. So you do have to aim not only ahead of moving targets, but also, you know, deal with height when dealing with moving targets. Other than that, yeah, you're usually, you don't want to use this. You don't listen. It's great for riot shielders. There's not really an advantage to it otherwise. Next. Ah, the DSR. God, where do I begin with this one? Actually, you know what? I know where to begin with this one. Alright, the DSR is the best sniper in the game. Why? Right? I mentioned the hit zones with the ballista and the fire rate of the ballista. And this is similar to the ballista in that it is also a bolt-action rifle. So what makes this one better than the ballista? Well, it's really simple. It's more forgiving. It has similar damage zones to the ballista in that it does double damage to headshots and then extra damage to, or 50% extra damage to neck, arms, upper and mid-torso. But it also deals that extra damage to the lower torso. You can, basically, if you shoot from crotch up and hit someone, they will die, as long as you don't hit their hands. Has a magazine size of 5 rounds, 7 if you use extended mags, which is highly recommended. You want those. It does have a slightly slower ADS speed, but you'll 400 milliseconds, but you'll live. You're not using this for quickscoping most of the time. Generally speaking, if you're not quickscoping, the better sniper for quickscoping and the overall better sniper are not usually the same sniper. And this one's definitely overall the better one because it is the one that will give you the most amount of one-shots with the least amount of effort. And when it comes to weapons like sniper rifles, where if you miss or don't kill in one hit, you're dead, that's really important. This weapon was so good that it got nerfed, and people sent the game director, the multiplayer game director, death threats. But it's still the best sniper in the game, so honestly, I don't know why they did that. But, you know, as I mentioned, Call of Duty, a lot of people play it. You're gonna have a lot of fucking idiots. It's not your fault, Vondahar. So, yeah. To put it as simply as possible, yeah, the DSR is just the more forgiving between it and the ballista. It is the more consistent option, and consistency is important when it comes to weapons. It technically also has the worst accuracy, but because of how slow the rate of fire is, that usually doesn't matter. Accuracy for most sniper rifles doesn't matter unless they're not, if they're bolt action, which this one is. The other two are not bolt action, and we'll talk about those more when we get there. Up next. This fucking absolute monstrosity of weapon design. Alrighty, let's talk about it. This is the Executioner. This is the only weapon that's going to be an ass. Nothing else is going to be as bad as this. Ah, ow. My shoulders are sore. I need a massage. Doom 3 shotgun's calling for its sibling. You know what? No, it's not. You wanna know why it's not? Because at least speedrunners can use the Doom 3 shotgun. This thing is worse than the Doom 3 shotgun. This genuinely, unironically, might be the worst shotgun in video game history. Cause yeah, if you didn't know, this is a shotgun. It's a shotgun pistol. So now I need to talk about shotguns and how they work in Call of Duty. How shotguns work in Call of Duty is very simple. Shotguns will, on average in Call of Duty, shoot out 8 pellets, with said 8 pellets dealing their damage range like typical bullets. So, the Executioner can deal a maximum of 30 damage and a minimum of 6 damage, and then you multiply that by 8 in order to get the total damage, dealing a maximum of 240 damage if all 8 pellets hit, and a minimum of 48 damage if all 8 pellets hit. One other important thing about shotguns is their range. You see, most shotguns in Call of Duty have a effective range of about 15 meters. Anything past 15, the pellets will essentially stop existing and not go any further. I say most because the Executioner only has an effective range of 12.5 meters. Yay! Why? Why does it do that? Well, you know, that's pretty bad. What's the effective one-shot range for this thing? 3.75 meters. Give me a quick moment. Hold on. I need to bring something up for a point of comparison. I need to double check something really quick. Got an HER with the damn thing. Give me a quick moment. Doing some research. Yeah, I am trying my damnedest to find the actual melee range in Call of Duty. I currently cannot, but actually, you know what would be a good way? Hold on. Okay, assuming that the melee ranges have not been changed, and I do know that they are slightly bigger for some games, the effective melee range of the combat knife is 3.2 meters. This gun this gun one-shots literally at melee range, and anything past melee range, you're gonna have some problems. And friendly reminder, the ballistic knife has a longer than average melee range. Now, this gun fires semi-automatically at a fire rate cap of 468, which is honestly not too bad. The recoil effectively doesn't matter. You're not going to be shooting this thing at any long range anyway. Don't worry about it. An important thing about Black Ops 2, Black Ops 2 was the first game that added pellet spread tightening when ADSing with shotguns. So it is effective to ADS with shotguns in order to tighten the pellet spread, in order to, more likely hit with more pellets than not. Problem, this gun has the slowest ADS speed of all the pistols at 200 milliseconds. And if all that wasn't bad enough, it also has the slowest reload speed, because it takes 1.7 seconds to load the first shell, and an additional 0.6 seconds to load every shell afterwards. This gun has a magazine size of 5 rounds. 5 rounds! Well, Dragon Knight, everything you're saying about this gun is really, really, really bad. But what if I dual wield it, right? Because, like, when you dual wield pistols in Call of Duty, they're usually incredibly strong, right? Except this one. This might debatably be one of the most nerfed weapons in dual wield of all time. It lowers your minimum damage from 15 to 8! Now the good news is, it will at least give you Speed Reloader for free. Oh, no, sorry, I misread that. It changes your damage drop-off, the first one. So, past that one-hit kill range, it changes it from 15 damage to 8. Meaning you will literally not be able to one-hit kill with this gun past melee range anymore. And anywhere past that, it goes to fucking 5 damage per pellet. It won't make any difference. This gun is bad. This gun is really bad. Although, hysterically enough, if we were talking about zombies, this gun would be up here. Because this gun in zombies is fucking incredible. But this ain't zombies. That ain't Falco. Oh, and if it makes you feel any better, the actual gun in real life, the Taurus Judge, is also just as bad. Listen, it says so much that every other shotgun pistol in the series after this one is not only leagues better than this one, but are also some of the best weapons in their game, period. Like, every developer needed to, like, apologize for this thing afterwards. This gun sucks. It will be the only gun in S tier, because nothing else is this bad. Up next, the FAL OSW. Alrighty, the FAL is a semi-automatic assault rifle, meaning you have to manually fire it. It has a fire rate cap of 625, which honestly is pretty good, and it's also pretty reasonable to be able to shoot that rhythmically pretty damn well. It does 55 to 40 damage, which is very good. Yeah, this gun has the capability of a 2-hit kill. That's dangerous. It also has a headshot multiplier of 1.2, and that's very important because its mid-range is 49 damage, meaning if you get a headshot at mid-range, and by mid-range, I mean fucking anywhere between, let's double pull this up here. Whee! Anywhere between 16 and 57 meters is mid-range. I mentioned with the AN that honestly, any range past 50 is incredibly rare, but it's very easy to, like, get those ranges and those bullets on target with this gun in particular. There could be worse. There could be worse. You could absolutely do worse than this. This gun is absolutely, like, a fucking king of range in that regard. It does have a very long reload time, but I wish all the reload cancel times were listed on the Call of Duty Wiki. That's kind of annoying, not gonna lie. Has a magazine size of 25, which is very good also. So we have a good rate of fire, a good damage, a good time to kill. But, and one thing I need to mention is, there was a time where, you see, Black Ops 2 was the first game to introduce an attachment called Select Fire, which would let you change the fire rate, the firing style of your gun. Yeah, this gun with Select Fire was literally so strong they had to nerf Select Fire and change how it worked for every weapon, but this one in particular. Long story short, pre-nerf, this thing basically was shooting at that maximum rate of fire without the need to mash it at all, with the same amount of recoil, which is very low, with the same range, which is very good. And it made it one of the most disgusting things in Call of Duty history. It was, like, one of the easiest top-tier things to use of all time. Yeah, the FAL, it's going and go. Like, this is one of the best semi-automatic assault rifles in COD history. Full stop. You know what's funny? This one also very infrequently seen because it was hard to use. However, as opposed to something like a burst fire where you have to fire rhythmically, like bat, 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 trying to do that with semi-automatic weapons is definitely harder. So I will be a bit more forgiving on the general skill of the player base in this regard. Because yeah, this weapon is definitely not easy to use at its maximum potential. But it was extremely rewarding when you do. Up Up next, this is the FHJ. What the hell is this? Well, it's your anti-air rocket launcher. I'm not going to talk too much about rocket launchers in this, but I just want to bring them up when they pop up, just in case. And yeah, this is the one you bring when you want to kill streaks. And oh boy, there will absolutely be those times where you need to deal with people and their kill streaks. Here's our boy. We're putting him right there, because, yeah. Guess who was relegated to Team Engineer because he was playing with a bunch of potatoes? Y'all are lucky I like playing Team Engineer. So thank you, FHJ. I have shot down many a kill streak because of you. That would have absolutely decimated my teammates otherwise, because they're all a bunch of idiots. We're not talking about ghosts. Yeah, let's, maybe some other day. Next. The 5-7. Alrighty, back to talking about the pistols in Black Ops 2, because oh boy, the Black Ops 2 5.7, like many of the pistols, are gross. Let's start with its damage. This gun does 50 fucking 5 to 19 damage. I'm going to repeat that, 55 down to 19. The exact numbers are actually important here, so I'm going to mention them. 55 to 45 to 33 to 24 to 19. Now, why am I mentioning that? Well, the 55 damage range is 2.5 meters. You can two-shot an executioner with this gun. Like, I want you to keep in mind, if you go toe-to-toe against someone with an executioner, it is more likely that you will win mashing this weapon than they will with a shotgun pistol. Shadows music, yeah. I need to play this game. I don't think it's on sale, though. Matter of fact, one is on sale. Steam's always telling me about sales, and I'm always ignoring them. Yeah, these are all alright. Yeah, nothing's on a big sale. Damn. Soon. Anyway, actually, no, hold on. Since we're on Shadows, where is Silver Lining? Yeah. Anyway, back to the 5.7. Yeah, so, this thing's fire rate is 750 rounds per minute. That's gross. Now, on average, you're not going to be in that 3-hit kill range, or in that 2-hit kill range, so let's just use the 3-hit kill damage for the time to kill calculation here. So let's do that, and then you divide by that, and then you get that, and then you multiply that by that, and you get a time to kill of 0.16, which is very good. Now, an important thing to mention, as we were talking about semi-automatic weapons, if you fire them too fast, you can end up, like, jamming them, essentially. They don't literally jam, but, like, you know, the gun won't fully fire at the rate of fire it's capable of. This gun is extremely forgiving. You can mash this gun like a gorilla, and you'll probably shoot it at maximum speed. On top of that, The general pistol statistics are very good, moving at 100% movement speed, having really fast ADS time, really fast reload speed, really good magazine capacity of 20 rounds. That's really good. And unlike the Executioner, this one is not nerfed by dual wielding it. So yeah, the 5.7 is very good. I think overall, aside from the Executioner, it is the worst of the pistols, but worst is not bad in this instance. Yeah, the 5.7 is an insanely good pistol, but the other ones are just that much better. That's all it comes down to. Up next, the hammer. Ooh, yay. So, by the way, sorry about these, like, poor pictures. They're only as good as I can get them. Yeah, so the hammer. This is our first LMG. And unfortunately, we have a fucking weirdo to talk about. Why is this one a weirdo? Well, it's really simple. You know the AN-94? And how the AN-94 can burst fire itself, basically, to shoot at a faster rate of fire than if you just fully automatically fire it? Yeah, the hammer literally does that. The hammer is the exact same as the AN-94 in that regard. The first 7 rounds fired out of the hammer shoot at 937 rounds per minute, with the rest of the rounds firing at 625. That's really good! That's really good! On top of that, the hammer has pretty damn good iron sights because it is based off of the Scar. It is a Scar derivative. And Scar iron sights are very good. We'll talk a little more about that later. Hold on. Now, other than that, what makes an LMG an LMG? Well, 2 things. They typically have better range than assault rifles, and they typically have higher ammunition than assault rifles. The hammer does 40, decreasing to 24 damage. With a 40 damage, 3 hits, basically. A 3-hit kill range of 38 meters, which is very long. Yes, exactly. Same usage as the AN-94, but just longer burst. Honestly, that makes it a little more forgiving in that regard, because it's not literally just 2. Which I personally like more. The hammer also does have pretty damn good headshot multiplier of 20%. But that only matters past that 38 meter range. Which, you know, it's nice, but just keep that in mind. You don't need to go for headshots unless they're super far away. On top of that, because of the nature of you most likely burst firing this weapon, it is pretty controllable recoil in that regard, honestly. Normally, it has pretty high recoil, but similar to the AN-94, because you're burst firing it most of the time, its recoil doesn't actually have the full time to ramp up to as uncontrollable as it gets, which makes it very easy to deal with. And then, as for its ammunition, it has a magazine size of 75, which is very good. Very, very, very good. So yeah, the hammer. All in all, the hammer is pretty great, honestly. It is definitely the hardest of the LMGs to use, but it's also the most rewarding if you get there. But a key thing about LMGs is just, you know, letting it spray down range per se, and that's kind of where the hammer fails. Because you need to burst fire it. It's more or less a precision LMG, bizarrely enough, which is not terrible, but not really what you want out of an LMG. Next. The Cap 40. Yeah, this gun was banned in competitive. I don't think I need to. It was banned in competitive. Let's talk about why. So, the Cap 40 does 45 to 19 damage, which is pretty nice. This is a fully automatic pistol. It is the only one that is fully automatic, shooting at a fire rate of 937 rounds per minute. Hey, does that number seem familiar yet? Has a magazine capacity of 15. 20 if you use extended rounds, or extended, which is pretty nice. With a 3-hit kill range of 7.5 meters, which is something you're going to be in a lot. Let's do the math on that really quick. So, let's see. We got... Bam, bam. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, that is a time to kill of 0.128. Get ready for that to be common. We've seen it a few times already. That's a really good time to kill, and a very optimum range for pistols. Now, this gun technically has high recoil, and I only say that because it literally shoots fast enough where you'll almost never be at full recoil anyway. You'll most likely be able to get all those shots on target, no problem. Now, if you do decide to use this gun akimbo, here are some important changes. The 3-hit kill range goes to 5 meters instead of 7. But it will eliminate your 6-hit kill range and reduce it to a 5-hit kill range instead. So you lose close range time to kill potential only slightly in exchange for a better longer range time to kill potential. The reload time is changed overall. You get more ammunition on startup. The switch speed is slightly longer. That's how long it takes to switch from your pistol to something else, and vice versa. You have a much wider hipfire spread. The recoil on your hipfire is completely differently, but honestly, those are all things you can deal with. This gun is insanely good. It will be the only pistol in GOAT tier because, again, it was literally banned in competitive. And yeah, that's not getting beat. Up next, the KSG. Here is our first, I hesitate to say true shotgun, because while the Executioner is essentially a pistol shotgun that is really bad, the KSG is different in the fact that it fires slugs. The KSG does not fire typical shotgun shells. It fires slug rounds. So let's talk about it. The damage of said slug is 200 down to 75. It will deal 200 in any range that is less than 13.75 meters. Anywhere past that, it will deal 75 damage up to 31.25 meters, where after that 31.25 meters, the slug will essentially disappear and you won't be able to hit anymore. Which honestly is a pretty good trade-off. Yeah, 13 range one-shot potential for a shotgun is very good, but you need to be on target because you are shooting a single projectile. It has a fire rate of 77 rounds per minute because it is pump action, which is slow, but fast for the kind of weapon as it is. We essentially need to think of this weapon as a close-range sniper rifle. And when you think about it in that regard, and when you use it in that regard, honestly, it's pretty good. And it's kind of hard to beat. This is a very high-skill, high-reward weapon. And because of that, it's generally hard to rate. But I think I'll be a little bit more generous than normal and put it in great bars. Because this weapon is very strong, but it will not be for everyone. Damn, my throat was hurting before stream, so I drank some tea. It's helping a little bit. We got some honey too. It's wildflower honey. That shit tastes fantastic. I should probably make more tea after stream. But yeah, my throat is already starting to hurt. So let's see. How many more weapons we got? We got a decent amount. It won't take too much to talk about. I got the shit talking out of the way with the Chi-Com and the Executioner. The most of this will be smooth sailing in comparison, thankfully. Up next, the LSAT. Here we have another LMG. Yeah. And this one is most people's fucking nightmare. Oh boy, do people really not like this weapon. Unless you like using this kind of weapon. In which case, you really like this weapon. The LSAT is definitely the best LMG in this game. Because I mentioned the hammer's big problem is that it is definitely good, but it doesn't cater to the typical playstyle of an LMG. The LSAT does. The LSAT has a damage of 40 down to 24. You're never reaching that 24 damage range, don't fucking worry about it. The 3-hit kill range of the LSAT is 35 meters. And then it will deal 33 damage until 75 meters. You need to be on one side of Turbine, shooting at the other end of Turbine to even think about hitting that range. So this weapon is effectively a 3 to 4 hit kill gun at all times. With a fire rate of 750 rounds per minute. Very good. A magazine size of 100. Just the straight up classic 100. Pretty damn simple. This gun has very controllable recoil and very decent iron sights, but you're probably not using iron sights. You're almost certainly putting an optic of some kind on it. Most likely the target finder. Which is why people hate this, because that was one of the default classes, and oh boy, when you can just sit somewhere with this thing, with a target finder, and then just shoot at diamonds like you're playing Geometry Wars, people will hate you, but yeah, you'll get the fucking job done. It is... I still despise that optic. I don't blame you. So yeah, the LSAT. Also, fun fact, the LSAT has a digital ammo counter on it, which is virtually like ignorable most of the time unless you're literally playing hardcore. But you know, keep that in mind, I guess. So yeah, this is essentially the LMG of LMGs. When you think of LMGs in Call of Duty, this is one of the first guns that comes to mind. It has good damage, it has good range, it has a good rate of fire, it has basically everything that you could want. It has good recoil, like, it's the complete package. This is the fucking LMG. Up next, the M8A1. Here we have our first true, actual burst rifle. but a bit of a different one. This gun shoots in a 4-round burst. It was the first gun to fire in a 4-round burst. Yay! I like this song. So, the M8A1. Let's talk about the damage. This gun has a damage range. A damage of 35 to 24. Except not really, because that 35 is only for 1.3 meters. So basically, this weapon is a 1-burst kill up to about 31 meters. And yeah, this is the first time I actually get to bring this up. Normally, when we're talking about, like, bullets to kill with burst rifles, we don't. We talk about burst to kill, because that's how the weapon operates. It does not fire like a traditional gun, so you must instead look at it in burst to kill rather than bullets to kill. So yeah, this is a 1-burst kill for 31 meters, which is very good. Anywhere past that, you will need 1 more burst, but you will very rarely be past that. Now, this gun has a burst speed of 1250. Are you used to that number yet? The overall fire rate, when factoring in burst delay, is 7.89. Or 789, not 7 point. That would be fucking horrible. It's 789 rounds per minute, which is really good. But yeah, you can basically 1-burst in most reasonable ranges with this gun, so you almost never really have to worry about that. So yeah, the burst is insanely fast. You have a 32-round magazine, so that is 8 bursts before you're cooked, which is very nice. Extended mags giving you 42. Ah, the true answer. Which is pretty nice. Iron sights are a bit iffy on this gun. Don't worry, just slap an optic of your choice and you're good to go. One other thing that makes this weapon insanely good is if you decide to pair it with FMJ. I have not mentioned FMJ in any particular instance yet, but because of the consistency of the burst, FMJ makes wall penning with this gun really good compared to a lot of other assault rifles. And I feel the need to mention that as opposed to a lot of other ones. So yeah, the M8 is fantastic. It is definitely the best burst rifle of the gun. And I think it warrants GOAT tier. I feel the need to mention, by the way, like when I say GOAT, I mean just for this game. I'm not talking about other Call of Duties, because that's very important. Because, oh boy, if we were including, like, these guns, like, outside of the vacuum of their own game, these placements would look a bit different, to put it mildly. Because, yeah, the M8 is great. The M8 is fantastic. There are some burst rifles in Call of Duty that are, like, actual fucking war crimes. That had to get nerfed several times. This one did. Oh, also, if you want to, for some reason, you can use select fire on this weapon and make it fully automatic. Don't do that. Just use a fucking fully automatic gun. Select fire is just a really awkward weapon, or awkward attachment to use most of the damn time. If you do decide to use select fire, its rate of fire becomes 937, which is, you know, alright. But yeah, don't do that. Next, the M27. Alrighty, I'm going to be a little. I'm going to be a little mean, because a lot of people like this gun. You want to know why a lot of people like this gun? Because this is the most accurate, fully automatic weapon in the game. And that's great. That's a really good thing. That's a fantastic thing. But man, is the time to kill a bit painting for that. This gun has a 33 to 24 damage range, dealing 33 damage up to, that's about 38 meters for a 4-hit kill. Honestly, it's not that bad. The rate of fire is 750, so really quick, let's do the math on that. Yeah, that is a time to kill of 0.24. So for reference, we have had 1 to 8s. We've had very close to 140s. On average, a fast time to kill for a game like Call of Duty is like a 150, around the 150 range. This gun is almost twice as long as those. And yeah, honestly, this gun is basically if the ACR wasn't allowed to have stopping power. You see, the thing that makes the ACR good in the games it's good in is that in Modern Warfare 2, there's stopping power to make up for its lower than average damage and rate of fire. And then in Modern Warfare 3, they just straight up increased its damage. They didn't do that with this gun. This gun has a slower than average time to kill, and its only real forgiving factor is its accuracy. Like, if it is a very forgiving assault rifle. If it makes you feel any better, don't worry. Every time the song pops up, the exact same thing pops up in my head. So yeah, this, I'm gonna be real, and then some people might fucking hate me for that. I think this is the worst assault rifle in the game. Its only true advantage is its accuracy, and also, in part of its accuracy, it's very good iron sights. The iron sights are actually quite nice for this gun. But that is its only strength. This is a beginner-friendly rifle because of that accuracy, and nothing else. And the only reason dude, and there will be... Listen, this gun's not even the worst example of this. I feel the need to stress that. There are other Call of Duties. The algorithm requires engagement, CV11. There will be other rifles in Call of Duty that have high accuracy but low time to kill that are definitely worse than this gun. Really quick, hold on. Matter of fact, let me bum bum bum. Yeah, so for reference, the ICR in Black Ops 3 also is a 4 to 5 hit kill, but has 600 rounds per minute instead of 750. Like, it is a strictly worse weapon in that regard. Having a time to kill of 0.3. And dude, people love these weapons because they're easy. That's it. You like these weapons because they're easy. Just say it. They're not good, they're easy. It's fine. Because in the grand vacuum of the games that they're in, do these guns honestly compete with even the weapons above them? No! Because even if we're just looking at the tier list so far, The Chi-Com has virtually identical accuracy, but a way faster time to kill. A way faster time to kill. So yeah, I don't like these weapons. I don't like high accuracy weapons because of the sacrifice that they take to the actual, like, damage potential that you're getting with them. That is the trade-off, and it is a clear trade-off, and these weapons are not good because of that. These were beginner-friendly rifles for when you're not used to dealing with recoil, and that's fine, but that's exactly what they are. It's not competing, it sure as hell not competing with anything in GOAT tier, but it's not even competing with anything in the good or great tier. It's not garbage. I feel the need to stress that. The M27, as I mentioned, is debatably the best version of a gun like this, but even then, it's still not good. Up next, the M1216. Oh, god damn it. Can we get to a normal shotgun? Well, Dragonite, why'd you say that? This looks like a normal shotgun. What's wrong with it? This is a 4-round burst shotgun? Okay, I, like, actually need to explain how this thing works. So, this gun has 16 shells. How it works is, when you shoot 4 shells with this gun, it will then cycle to the next 4 shells. But it is fully automatic for those 4, so basically every 4 rounds you have to rechamber. But it is a fully automatic shotgun otherwise. Why not? Why not just make it fully auto? What the fuck? Like, I don't... Okay, you know what? Okay, so yeah, that's how this gun works, right? So basically, fully auto, but every 4 rounds, the gun needs to take a break. This gun shoots 8 pellets, dealing 25 to 6 damage, doing a maximum of 200 and a minimum of 48, assuming all the pellets hit. That's pretty common for shotguns. Having a 1-hit kill range of 3.75 meters. But the fire rate of this gun, of the actual speed of before the rechamber, is 468 RPM, which honestly is not that bad. The total fire rate being 225 after rechamber, which also is honestly not that bad in the grand scheme of things. It's just weird. Like, that's the best way I can explain this gun. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just weird. It's a weirdo. It's a weirdo gun. Yeah. Also, I mentioned that most of the guns in this game do not have linear drop-offs. They have, like, you know, set drop-off ranges. This one has linear drop-off for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. This gun's weird. I don't like it, but it's fine. This is a weird gun. I don't like them. Next. The Mark 48. We got a big ol', big man, big dick swinging, big gun big. Here's our next LMG. This is the LMG you start with. Let's talk about it. This gun has, by far, the best range of all of the LMGs, dealing... This is going to be so fucking random, by the way. 49 damage, which is very good. Dropping down linearly to 45 damage up to 88 meters, where then it will sharply drop off, dealing 30 damage anywhere past that. Why? Long story short, this gun will basically always 3-hit kill. There you go. I just made that simpler for you. It has a rate of fire of 625 rounds per minute and has a 1.2 times headshot multiplier, which is honestly really good, eliminating a bullet to kill if any of those is a headshot, which is really good. So, the thing that makes this gun is the hardest hitting and the most consistent of the LMGs. Its exchange is its recoil. It does have the second overall worst recoil, and that's only if we're not including firing the hammer at full auto all the time. But honestly, I think the recoil is handleable. The time to kill of this weapon, let's bring that up really quick, is boop, 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 boop. 65 is 0.192. Honestly, considering that's a time to kill you're basically gonna get at all ranges, that's pretty damn good. Now, this weapon does have an insanely long reload time of 8 seconds, but you are getting 100 fucking rounds, so you'll be fine. You'll live. Other than that, this has the standard stats of LMGs, aside, as I mentioned, aside from the recoil, 90% movement speed, about 32% strafe speed, slow ADS speed at 450 milliseconds, bad hipfire accuracy. You can reload cancel after 5.45 seconds, which honestly is not that bad. But yeah, all in all, the M8, yeah, it's good. I don't think I'm going to put it in great, because I think the hammer is that next step of being a better option. But it's not as, obviously not as like good as the LSAT, because the LSAT basically is the total package, right? The LSAT doesn't really lose that much for less range, right? It doesn't have the damage, sure, it can't potentially two-shot, but honestly, that's a fair enough trade-off for how much easier to use and consistent the LSAT is, right? Now, when I'm grading things on ease of use, the reason I do that is because what are you getting for that ease of use, right? Something being easy to use is usually a downside for its weakness, right? The easier something is, typically the weaker it is, right? The more complex and harder something is to use, usually the better results you have for mastering it. That's typically how these kinds of things are balanced. The reason the LSAT is above, say, the hammer and the Mark 38 is because it is realistically just the better option 99% of the time, even if you do master the other two options. Right? Its ease of use is one of its strengths because it doesn't really lose too much for it being as easy as it is to use. And it doesn't... And the other ones don't gain as much for being harder to use, right? An example being like the FAL. The FAL is where it is because it is quite literally, debatably, the best weapon in the game if you master it. But you need to master it. But it is the best weapon in the game, debatably. Meanwhile, mastering the hammer is still very good, but it's just not as worth it to master in comparison to something like the FAL. That's why it is where it is. I feel the need to stress that, because some people are like, well, the M27 is easy, why is the M27 easy? Well, because the M27 is easy, and they made it weaker because of it. The LSAT is easy, and it's one of the strongest guns in the game. That's the difference. Up next, The MP7. Oh boy, they bought this demon back from Modern Warfare 3, but don't worry, this is absolutely a nerfed version. And, yeah, it's not anywhere near as dominant as it is in Modern Warfare 3, but it is still pretty good. It is the starting SMG you get, dealing 33 damage, decreasing to 18, having a mid-range damage of 22, which that mid-range damage is not that mid-range. It will be a 4-hit kill in 18.8 meters, and then from there to 26.3, it will deal 22 damage, being a 5-hit kill, and anywhere past that, it will drop off to 18 damage, being a 6-hit kill. This gun has a fully automatic speed of 937. Are you used to those numbers yet? Giving it a very good, very consistent time to kill within its range, but then dropping off with those longer ones. This gun's recoil is decent. It's not anywhere near as low as the Modern Warfare 2 version, which is one of the major nerfs, but it is still very controllable. Along with having debatably better iron sights than the Modern Warfare 3 version. I said 2 minutes ago. I'm tired. My throat hurts. So yeah. A lot of these are going to be a lot quicker because I went over the major numbers. The time to kill numbers are not going to be as relevant from this point onward because of how consistent the number choices that the developers used. This is a big thing that they did with Black Ops 1 as well. However, a big problem with Black Ops 1 is that the weapons were virtually too identical. Like, the AUG and the FAMAS were literally the same weapon for a long time. And that basically is similar things happen here, where they will use similar numbers, but provide better, stronger differentiators so that these don't stand out anywhere near, or don't, like, blend together anywhere near as much. All in all, the MP7 in this game is not what it was in Modern Warfare 3, where it was debatably the best weapon in the game. But it is still very good. It is absolutely a great starting SMG. And a pretty consistent one. You will enjoy your time with this weapon. It will be fine. Next, the MSMC. And yeah, we're just gonna, to no one's surprise, let's talk about it. This is the best SMG in the game. Why is it the best SMG in the game? Let's talk about it. Whee! God, my throat hurts. I thought this would be easier. I was wrong. Boop. There we go. MSMC. This gun has a damage range of 40, dropping to 18, dealing 40 damage in 13.75 meters. Up to 27.5, it will deal 33. From there to 37.5, it will deal 22, and then past that, it will deal 18 damage. Now, you might notice those ranges are very good. Yes, they are. This really was the first SMG to have... This gun is essentially like a hybrid between assault rifles and SMGs. It has assault rifle damage and range, but SMG mobility and SMG handling stats. And those guns are usually some of the best in the game. You are essentially getting the best of both worlds in most instances with those kinds of guns. Now, this gun's rate of fire is 75 or 750 rounds per minute, meaning against things that have better close range potential, this gun will almost certainly lose, even with its 3-hit kill range. Because don't get it twisted, it's certainly a decent fire rate, but, you know, it's going to lose some battle. Like, example, with the MP7, it will probably lose against the MP7 most times. Its range just isn't long enough for that. But where this gun truly shines and where it's so good is mid-range. This gun can outgun other SMGs in mid-range engagements, and even on occasion, and compete with assault rifle users with its mid-range. That's what makes it so strong. It's like this magical Goldilocks zone where this gun is like just a dominating force, but that Goldilocks zone is where a lot of engagements happen. So it's almost always within the ranges where it wants to be. That's what makes it strong. Hold on a moment. Boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Yeah, my throat is starting to throat. Let's see. Any other important factors to mention about this weapon? The recoil is bigger. This gun, along with its brother, we'll talk about later, was nerfed and has increased recoil and hipfire spread compared to a lot of the other SMGs. Has a standard magazine size of 30 rounds, which is actually lower for the SMGs in this game, but it's about the same as assault rifles. This gun actually lets you move faster than a lot of the other SMGs for some fucking reason at 101% speed. I don't know why. It also has average ADS speed, and you can reload cancel it in 1.6 seconds, which is very good, but if you don't do that, it's 2.1 reload second, which is, it's okay. So yeah, the MSMC is the best SMG in the game because you are essentially always in its Goldilocks zone. You are almost always in its optimal range, and it's kind of hard to beat that. It's really hard to beat that. Matter of fact, hold on. Doop doop. Do 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 do. Ah, I did not mean that. Come back. There we go. Yeah. Alrighty. So yeah, MSMC. It's you're really almost always within that like Goldilocks range. That's basically what it comes down to. It is an insanely strong weapon that doesn't really lose out on much. Also, it has a little bit of a headshot multiplier, but that only really matters for the 33 bullet range, which also is, again, where you're usually going to be, so it's usually fine. Doesn't mean getting headshots with this weapon is pretty damn good, so go for it. It's going to be a bit harder because of the worse recoil, but you'll live. Up next, the MTAR. This is my favorite gun in the game because I love the TAR. Oh boy, do I love the TAR, and I love the MTAR. I don't know why I love the TAR so much. I don't know, it's just the way it looks. I'm a sucker for bullpups, I guess. This is the starting assault rifle. It has a damage range of 40, 30, 24. Dealing... It's 40 damage at 16 meters, dealing 30 damage up to 37.5 meters, and anywhere past that, it will deal 24 damage. This gun has a rate of fire of 750 rounds per minute, giving it a surprisingly average time to kill all in all, but that close range kill range is honestly pretty damn good. For reference, this gun basically has a longer 3-hit kill range than the MSMC, just for comparison, since we were just talking about it. More importantly than that, though, this gun is basically just the most assault rifle of all assault rifles. Like, it is hard to fight with this thing. Like, it's just good all around. It has very controllable recoil. Its iron sights are very good, but the optic options are there. None of its statistics are really bad enough to warrant needing an attachment, so it's a very versatile weapon in that regard. If you want to go more aggressive with things like stock and quick draw, you can. If you want to go more utility with things like FMJ, you can. If you want a different optic, go ahead. You're not really hurt for options on this weapon. It is a very, very consistent gun. That is, it's absolutely its biggest strength. That's honestly the best thing I could say about it. Consistent. It is incredibly consistent. Hell, honestly, I think of all the guns in the game that you could run with no attachments, this one's up there. This one's really up there. So yeah, this is absolutely my baby. I know better. I know it doesn't have as high highs as the weapons above it, but just because it doesn't mean it does not have those moments where it can absolutely outdo those guns. But yeah, its highs aren't as high, but it is an extremely consistent option. If those other guns are 9s, the MTAR is like a 7.5 all the time. If those other guns can peak at 9, but sometimes get as low as like 4, the MTAR is like a 7.5 that never dips below 7. It is an incredibly consistent gun that doesn't really let you down. It's not as strong as, say, the TAR-21 in Modern Warfare 2, but honestly, I can live with that. Next. The PDW. We were just talking about the MSMC's brother. Here it is. The PDW is essentially, as you might guess, bizarrely enough by its name, this game's P90. Similar to the MSMC, it was a more... Yeah, awesome. It was a more long-range, or more mid-range to say, submachine gun that absolutely, like, dominated mid-range engagements. And, oh boy, did it have to suffer for its sins. As opposed to the MSMC, which only slightly got nerfed, the PDW already had worse recoil than the MSMC, but the nerf to its recoil and hipfire spread hurt this gun way more than it hurt the MSMC. It hurt pretty damn bad. This gun doesn't have as long of a range as the MSMC does. It does have a decent 3-hit kill range, but its 3-hit kill range is only up to 10.6 meters. With its 4-hit kill range ending at 25, which... Yeah, this gun really suffered for its success. This gun was an absolute menace in early Black Ops 2. It was absolutely the strongest SMG unnerfed. But yeah, those nerfs hit it hard. That being said, it is still a pretty damn good option. It's kind of hard to beat 50 rounds in your magazine and still having decent mid-range capability. Your recoil's worse, so you can't go long range as good as you used to be able to, but that's something you can live with. Really quick, let me get a comparison. I don't know if I like this version of the song more or the standard version. If I had to pick, I think I like the standard version just like a nut hair more, but I really love both versions. Yeah, so for comparison's sake, comparing the PDW to, say, the Weevil in Black Ops 3, which is the closest analog, also having 50 rounds, also having like decently high recoil, but the Weevil doesn't have a 3-hit kill range, and it has a lower 4-hit kill range. It has worse recoil, and it has a lower fire rate. So I'm gonna be real, like, yeah, this gun's nerfed, but it's still good. Don't get it twisted. Up next, the Peacekeeper. Yeah, I'm about to step on some toes with this one. Yeah, this gun's not good. Yeah, Call of Duty's first DLC weapon. You spent $5 in order to get it. And what do you get for it? You get mid. You get mid. Alrighty, this is the Peacekeeper. This is a assault rifle SMG hybrid. It is so much so an assault rifle SMG hybrid that in future games, sometimes it's just straight up an assault rifle and sometimes it's an SMG. It really just depends. This gun does 33 to 19 damage. Now, it does not have a 3-hit kill range, unlike the MSMC and unlike the PDW. That's a huge problem right there. But its 4-hit kill range does go out to 35 meters, which is not terrible. It's truly not terrible. But it only has a fire rate of about 750, which is not great. That's okay. So the PDW and MSMC had a similar fire rate, but they also had a 3-hit kill range in order to compensate for it. Here's the problem. The PDW doesn't beat out those two in close range. It beats them out in the mid-range, sure. But it doesn't beat out assault rifles in the mid-range. It is just straight up only slightly better than the MSMC and the PDW in a Goldilocks range, and is basically worse than them in every other regard. It has slightly better recoil. It also has a low magazine size of 30 rounds only. Decent iron sights, which are a bit funky, to the point where most people preferred optics with this weapon, understandably so. But yeah, this gun's... It's just a... Only, like I mentioned, in a Goldilocks range, it beats out the MSMC and the PDW as far as an SMG is concerned. But it loses as an assault rifle everywhere else. So are you really going to use this weapon that is only slightly better than the other two, like, mid-range SMGs, and then loses to everything? No, you're not. Oh, and a lot of people are going to say, well, what about rapid fire? This gun's really good on rapid fire, isn't it? No! Because rapid fire in this game lowers your range. So why not just use the Scorpion or the fucking Tycom? Because, yeah, this gun's rapid fire speed is less than those. Now, to be fair to it, it does have lower recoil than the MSMC and PDW. Other than that, you really... Again, this weapon only beats those two out in a slight range, and only for a little while. Up close, it's a problem, and any further than those ranges, it's a problem. Next. The QBB LSW. This is our last LMG, and oh boy, is it the fucking weirdo. Yeah, it's weirder than the hammer. Why is that? Is he dead? I hope not. Is the Twitch dead? We have not had a heart attack on Twitch. Let me double check here. No, we're good on Twitch. Yep, we're good on Twitch, we're good on YouTube. Ba, 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 ba. Hold on, let me get a drink of water. God, I need more water. So yeah, QBB LSW. Well, what makes this one so weird compared to the other LMGs? This one is an LMG AR hybrid, question mark? Yeah, this gun has the range of an assault rifle and the ammo capacity of an LMG. Where do I begin? Well, here's where I begin. Hold on a moment. Ba, 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 ba. There we go. So yeah, this gun's damage, it deals 35 to 25 to 20 damage, all, not linearly. Brain is forgetting the exact word to use for this, but yeah, it doesn't drop off linearly for this one. Laterally? That sounds wrong. Its 3-hit kill range is only 18.75 meters, but its 4-hit kill range goes up to 50 meters past that point, and then it does 20 on anywhere further than that. Honestly, I see the text box while typing, good lord. Logarithmic, also maybe. So to explain, when talking about the bullet ranges, in this game, they don't linearly drop down to the next number in most circumstances. So the 35 damage will deal 35 damage until it hits that 18.75, and then it will just straight up deal 25 damage the moment it hits like 18.76, as an example. Right? It is stair-steppy. It is not a slope. And I forget the word for that because no one said there'd be math. Even though I'm doing time to kill calculations. No, it's not a curve. It's a hold on, let me like yeah. Like it'll go doop 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 boop, doop 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 boop. It's not like a slope, right? Most of the ranges don't slope in this game, which is kind of weird. X equals negative B. This nigga's just throwing numbers at me. He's throwing math at me. Oh, good lord. Anyway. So yeah, those ranges are really bad for an LMG Dragonite. What the hell? Well, that's because of this gun's rate of fire. This gun shoots at 937 rounds per minute. And that's fast. That's extremely fast. If you give it rapid fire, it shoots at the same speed as the Scorpion. You wouldn't want to do that because of the range drop off, but yeah, this LMG shoots very fast. That is its strength. It has, because of its rate of fire, it is better at beating the other LMGs, but not necessarily better at beating other things. Like, this LMG shits on the other LMGs, but it doesn't shit on anything else. It's kind of awkward. Like, it is a very good time to kill. But, yeah, this one's a fucking weirdo, man. On top of that, the recoil is not as great as the other ones, but it's still fine. To be quite honest, all the LMGs in this game have pretty controllable recoil. Even this one. The only reason this one's recoil is so bad is because of the rate of fire, but honestly, it's controllable otherwise. You can live. It's honestly pretty fine. It's decent enough. Has a magazine size of 75 rounds, which is, you know, lower than 100, but it's still good. So yeah, this LMG beats other LMGs. Yeah, it's a fucking weirdo. It is a fucking weirdo. But it's honestly, it's a good weirdo. It's honestly pretty fine. Like, I don't really hate this weapon. It's just, I probably wouldn't use it over literally any of the other LMGs, but it's just, it's not bad. It's not bad. Up next. Oh, thank God, finally a regular fucking shotgun. This is the Remington 870. Yeah, you want a shotgun? You want a shotgun? Here it is. And yeah, by the way, this is the Black Ops 3 version of this picture, because the Black Ops 2 one was really bad on the wiki. Honestly, most of these are pretty bad. Is that a crossbow in Y? Well, it's an but yes, that is in fact a crossbow. So, Remington, let's talk about it. This, as all of the other shotguns, shoots 8 pellets, dealing 50 to 10 damage per pellet, dealing a maximum of 400 and a minimum of 80 damage per shot, with a rate of fire of 80 rounds per minute. It is pump action, with 8 shells, which honestly is pretty damn good. Its range, its consistent one-shot range is 7.5 meters, which is really good. But it will linearly drop off to 11.25 meters. But honestly, you can still pretty consistently one-shot. So basically, if you're fighting anyone before 11 meters, you're probably going to one-shot them with this gun. And, yeah, in between 11.25 and 16.25, you'll deal the 10 damage, and past that, you will deal no damage. The pellets will disappear into the ether. But, yeah, it only takes about 5 pellets to deal a one-shot kill up to 10 meters, which is pretty consistent. Reminder, you can ADS to tighten the pellet spread of shotguns, which is a very useful thing. So yeah, you will almost certainly get that one-shot range with this gun. It does have a long reload time because you have to manually reload the pellets all at once, but honestly, that's a pretty sufficient trade-off. Yeah, this is a shotgun's shotgun. It is a damn consistent shotgun. Fun fact, if you use fast mags with this gun, rather than having a speed reload or anything like that, you just load 2 shells at once. Which I guess does technically, cut your reload speed. It's just kind of funny though. So yeah, the Remington, it's good. It's really good. It's the most shotgun in this game, and damn, it feels good. Up next, hi, Rare Candy. Yes, we're talking about good old Black Ops 2. Here's the tier list so far. All made of metal. Actually, not all of them. Some of them are like, well, sort of. Some of these are like carbon fiber. Some of them aren't. But not all of them, though. Especially because this was about the time where they started to get like, fancy with their gun predictions. Not a shooter game, so I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, the good old RPG. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention it too much, but yeah, sure, let's talk about it. Now, the main reason I don't want to talk about it too much is because, like, it's not that the RPGs are even necessarily bad in Call of Duty, but it's just like a troll option most of the time. You don't usually use this with the full intent of, like, doing some damage, but let's talk about it. It has a direct impact damage of 150, meaning if you get hit with this, you fucking die. It has an explosion rate damage of 150, dropping to 70. Do we have, like, the sniper with a massive circle aim thing? Do we have the explosion radius range listed here? We don't, which is not great. I wish we had that, because that would be pretty damn handy, and I don't want to guesstimate with it either. Typically, these guns have... Typically, the RPGs have roughly bigger radiuses than frag grenades, but if it's not listed here and we're not certain, I'm not going to put words in mouth. So yeah. It's an option. Do Americans have... Which of these do Americans have in their houses? Which of these would an American have in their house? That's a great question. Honestly, I don't think any of these. I'm pretty sure almost all of these would only be used in, like, military or police force, but not, like, home usage. Because a lot of these are just not easy to take care of. Which is important when it comes to, like, a home usage weapon. Not even display? Well, if you're gonna display it, that's an entirely separate thing, in which case, you know, you need thousands of dollars. But yeah, I guess if you were to display these, it really just depends. Not all of these weapons actually exist right now. Let's start with that. Yeah, and otherwise, it just depends on what kind of guns you like, if you want any of these displayed. But yeah, let's see. Which of these are... Actually, a handful of them are real now. They're real now, but like... I like Nerf guns. Yeah, I haven't played Nerf guns in forever. But, yeah, anyway. RPG's a bit funky. Boop. Up next, the S12. I had used this picture from, I think, Call of Duty Online, because, again, the regular picture was really fucking bad. Here's our last shotgun, so there's that. Whee! So, this shotgun also shoots 8 pellets. As I mentioned, 8 pellets is the standard for shotguns in Call of Duty. Dealing a maximum of 30 damage per pellet and minimum of 6. Dealing upwards of 240 to 48 damage. Now, this one is semi-automatic, shooting at a fire rate of 468 RPM, which honestly is pretty good. You can deal with that. You can mash that. It's mashable. Has a very long reload time of 3 seconds, but it's only long for compared to other weapons. For shotguns, it's actually relatively fast. Has a 10-round clip, which is pretty nice. And it has a lower one-hit kill range by a lot. Of only 3.75, which is still longer than the Executioner, which is funny. But it shoots faster than the Executioner, which is also funny. Yeah, anywhere past the 3.75, you will need multiple pellets for a one-hit kill, and it gets a bit more inconsistent. Essentially needing you to two-shot anywhere past 12.5 meters. And then the bullets vanish into the ether past 15, so good luck with that. So yeah, this is overall the worst shotgun in this game. And like, by a decent margin, because yeah, even the M1216 is a bit more consistent. That's honestly where the S12 suffers, consistency. Up next, the Scar H. We have another one of my personal favorites. Whee! Boop. And boop. There we go. So, the Scar H. This is a fully automatic heavy-hitting assault rifle dealing 45 damage for a very long range. This gun deals 45 damage up to 56 meters, dropping to 33 past that. This gun is basically always a 3-hit kill, and a very strong 3-hit kill. It has a 1.2 times headshot multiplier, making headshots very good on this weapon. Now, this gun does have relatively high recoil, but because of the low rate of fire, honestly, I find the recoil rather controllable. Has a fire rate of 625, which is rather slow, so unless you get those headshots, the time to kill for this gun is going to be a bit in the lower end for assault rifles. But it is insanely consistent. It has insanely good 3-hit... Yeah, I love the song. Insanely good 3-hit kill range. It just ridiculous 3-hit kill range. That is absolutely this gun's strength. It is even dealing with some of the LMGs with that much consistency. Like, it's really damn good. On top of that, unlike its Modern Warfare 2 version, it just has 30-round magazines instead of 20, which is really nice. Because, yeah, I really fucking hate that about the goddamn Modern Warfare 2 version. Even though I'm pretty sure the Modern Warfare 2 version has a higher rate of fire. Yeah, just a little bit. Break out, turn the key to world untold. So yeah, the Scar is good. It's pretty damn good. Fun fact, if you're playing on PC, like if you're playing this on Plutonium, this gun is a fucking menace. I think I'm gonna put it in great. I think it is just a better option than the things beneath it, overall. Up next, hey, Riot Shield. Yeah, so, this is not the first Call of Duty to have a Riot Shield, but it is the first Call of Duty to let you do funny things with the Riot Shield. The Riot Shield in... Riot Shield in Black Ops 2 is pretty damn good. Hold on a moment. Grab that. Alright, there we go. Zoom that bad boy in. Look at that wonderful shield. Yeah, so, body check. Yeah, that's an understatement. Hydrate. I want to! Yeah, I need to get my other water ready. I will do that after this, don't you worry. So yeah, this, I was about to say gun. The Riot Shield's melee damage does, 70 damage, which honestly is pretty damn good. It is just a better version of the Riot Shield present in previous games, basically. It's more consistent at protecting you from frontal attacks. It has explosive resistance while you're using it. Putting it on your back is very helpful for protecting your back, quite literally. Riot Shields can deflect bullets, so you can potentially kill someone by deflecting a bullet back at them, which is very funny. New in this game, you can jam the Riot Shield into the ground and use it as a piece of deployable cover, which is quite nice. Yeah, the Riot Shields. It has built-in counters with the crossbow, as mentioned. If you get a crossbow shot on someone with the Riot Shield, it is a guaranteed kill. Same with Semtex. The Riot Shield overall is honestly pretty good in this game. It's nice. It's pretty handy. Deployable cover is nice. Clear counters, especially Semtex, because Semtex is probably going to be more common than running across someone with a crossbow. So, you know, it could be worse. Riot Shields are nice. Alrighty, the Scorpion Evo. Now, we talked about this a lot while talking about the Chi-Com. And yeah, as I said, this gun and the Chi-Com are identical in many ways. This one's full auto, the Chi-Com is not. This one does have substantially worse recoil and range, but otherwise has the same damage numbers and rate of fire. It has a slightly worse ammunition, but only slightly. It's not the end of the world. Hold on, really quick. We'll double check that actually. Yeah, slightly worse. 32 to 36. Why, it's beautiful. Yay. So yeah, I already talked about this a lot while talking about the Chicom. But yeah, for a quick refresher, this gun is a fast-firing, relatively low damage, but still good overall time to kill weapon. It has worse recoil, and worse range, but is easier to use up close because it is not burst fire. Granted, as mentioned before, the Chicom literally has the exact same rate of fire and has no burst delay. It is literally the exact same rate of fire. You can mash the Chicom like a gorilla and have the exact same rate of fire. Other than that, these are very identical guns, so identical to the point where putting it in a different tier would be silly. So yeah, it goes where the Chicom is, because it's the same gun, basically. Up next, the SMAW. So Call of Duty generally has, like, 3 types of rockets. They have ones that can only be used against kill streaks, ones that have to be free-fired, and then there are weirdo ones that are in between. The SMAW can lock onto kill streaks, but it can also free-fire like an RPG. So it's a weird middle ground between the two. It's not as lethal as the RPG, and it doesn't do as much to kill streaks as the FHJ. There you go. It also has less ammunition than both, for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah. Up next, the SMR. You know, let me get my water first. Hold on. More water, yeah! I also got I also have cookies. I will not eat those yet. I will eat those after stream, after tea. But I have cookies. Which, speaking of, let me prepare this in advance right now. When you do things early, you don't need to worry about doing them late. Yeah! Alrighty, SMR. The SMR is the other semi-automatic assault rifle present in Black Ops 2. So what makes it different than the FAL? Well, the long and short of it is the SMR has a substantially worse rate of fire and a little bit worse recoil, but has longer range. So the SMR's damage is 59 to 55 to 49, which is very good. So basically, it will deal a 2-hit kill up to 37.5 meters, which is crazy. And it will even deal a 2-hit kill if one shot is a headshot past that. That's very strong. That's very, very strong. But its fire rate is really where it hurts. It only has a fire rate of 535, which slower fire rates for semi-automatic weapons cause that weird jamming feeling more than faster weapons because they're less forgiving. You really have to get used to the rhythm of actually shooting this in order to shoot it at maximum speed. And that's not an easy task, even if you are used to it. Okay, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna do myself a favor and have one cookie right now. because I really want a cookie. Yay. Now, on top of the lower rate of fire, the SMR also has a smaller clip size of 20 rounds as opposed to 25. Now, remembering that this gun is a 2-hit kill, that can be a bit tricky, especially with the slower rate of fire and the increased recoil. You're not actually going to get those 2 shots as often as you think. You're going to miss some shots because the recoil is a lot stronger than you think for a semi-automatic weapon. And the lower fire rate means it's not as forgiving as the FAL is, right? What makes the FAL so strong is that, like, yes, it's still hard because it's a semi-automatic weapon, but the payoff and ease of use of it for its strength is a lot higher than the SMR. The SMR is definitely more of a specialist weapon, but it's just not strong enough to warrant usage over the FAL. That's honestly its biggest problem. But it's not bad. I feel the need to stress that. A lot of people feel like this weapon is pure garbage. It's not. It still is a 2-hit killing machine. It's just substantially harder to use than the FAL. Also, it is debatably one of the worst weapons in zombies, so bad that even when you pack-a-punch it, it's still dog shit. That's hysterical to me. Oh, hold on. Because Rare Candy being here reminds me of this. I need to show you guys a Pokemon card. Let's see, which one is it? Yeah, here it is. Rare Candy had a little poll on his channel where he was talking about what the best May card in the Pokemon TCG was. And I gotta say, this one's very funny to me, right here, because it makes it look like she passed away or something. It look like, look at it! Why is it like that? What did they do? Bring her back! No! Bring her back! What happened to me? A silly card. I love this one. Anyway. Next gun. This is the SVUAS. This is our first semi-automatic sniper rifle. And I gotta say, these guns have a very weird history in Call of Duty. So let's explain this one really quick. This does 70 damage and has a 50% damage multiplier on headshots. And nowhere else. Yeah, this gun one-shot headshots like all the other sniper rifles, but does not have one-shot headshot potential or one-shot potential anywhere else. So you must get headshots, or you must spam this gun for a 2-tap with its 416 RPM. And, honestly, both of those are a very hard ask. It has 12 rounds, which is not bad, honestly. 17, or 16 with extended mags. The recoil, honestly, is going to matter because this gun is semi-automatic, and because you need to 2-shot most of the time in order to actually kill someone with it. It will cause issues. This gun, technically, on paper, assuming you're a headshot god, is technically the best of the sniper rifles because it is the most simple and easy to use of the sniper rifles if you can consistently headshot. If you cannot consistently headshot, this is one of the worst sniper rifles. Full stop. This is as skill in, results out as you could possibly get with a weapon in a game like Black Ops 2. And let's be real, most people are not going to have that skill. Most pro players are not going to have that skill. The effectiveness of these weapons for what they do was always way too low for what they want of the player. That being said, this is still technically one of the better versions of a weapon like this, but it's still not great. Yeah. Up next. This is the SWAT 556. This is the first burst rifle you get in the game. And it's quite interesting. This gun was very bad for most of this game's life cycle, but then basically just progressively got buffs and buffs and buffs and buffs to the point where it's fine. Let's talk about it. This gun has a 40 to 33 damage range, dealing 40 damage, making a 1 burst kill. It is a 3-round burst. 1 burst kill up to 56 meters, which is incredible. That's LMG range. That's very good LMG range. It has very handleable recoil. Not as low as the M8A1, not as low as the Chicom, but reasonable recoil for as strong of a 3-round burst as this is. This gun also has LMG penetration power. I have not mentioned penetration too often, but long story short, you know, that's how much damage your gun loses when you're shooting through terrain. It has the same damage loss as LMGs and sniper rifles, which is really good. The iron sights are fine, but understandably, you probably want optics with a gun like this. It has a standard 30-round magazine, so extended mags is pretty nice, giving you 40, but giving you that one weirdo. So it's a bit funky. But yeah, this gun was bad, and basically got consistently buffed as the game went along to being fine. However, this gun was another one of those guns that was overpowered as fuck before they nerfed select fire. Oh god, this gun fully automatic is fucking scary. Oh, I forgot the speed. The speed of the burst is 937 rounds per minute, giving it an overall fire rate included of about 483, included with burst delay. Because yeah, this gun does have pretty damn long burst delay in comparison to all the other burst weapons in this game. All in all, the SWAT 556 is fine. It's fine. It used to be bad, and it was overpowered with select fire, but it's fine. It's alright. Almost done. Only 4 weapons left. Up next, the TAC 45. My personal favorite pistol in the game. Let's talk about why. And also, our last pistol. Yep. So, the TAC 45 has 55 damage, dropping down to 19, with a 625 round per minute rate of fire, which is very good. Now, why do I like this one more than the 5.7? The 5.7 also has crazy up-close damage. Well, this one has a 2-hit kill range of 10 meters. 10 meters! You can, if you know how to use this weapon, beat every other pistol in the game. In between 10 and 18 meters, you will deal 45 damage. In between the 18 and 25 meters, you will deal 33 damage, and... There we go. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 33 damage. Between 25 and 32 meters, you'll deal 24 damage, and anywhere past that, you will be dealing 19 damage, which you're probably never going to see. Why are you shooting someone that far away with your pistol? That is silly. Also, yeah, just like all the other pistols, this gun's damage also does get buffed with dual wield, eliminating that 6-hit kill range in exchange for its for a 5-hit kill range. Honestly, pretty damn good. So yeah, this is a strong pistol. It is absolutely a strong pistol. But as I mentioned, lower rate of fire weapons that are semi-automatic, you need to get used to how to actually shoot it at maximum speed, so you don't end up, you know, getting stuck when you're shooting these. But if you do get used to it, it's damn good. It's really good. As I mentioned, it's my personal favorite pistol, and if I'm going a pistol, I pick that one every time. Every time. Zero hesitation. Up next, the Type 25, our final assault rifle, but ironically enough, one of the first ones in the game. Boop. There we go. So, the Type 25. Before I mention anything, honestly, it's pretty nice iron sights. I like the iron sights on this gun. Pretty good. It deals 33 damage down to 24 damage, doing 33 damage up to 37 meters, which honestly is a pretty consistent 4-hit kill range. This gun's main strength, however, is its relatively low recoil for how fast it fires, having a fire rate of 937. So yeah, this gun is a better M27. I'm just gonna put it, that's basically what this gun is. This gun is better M27. This gun has basically better range than the M27. This gun has basically the same damage as the M27. This gun has a much faster rate of fire than the M27. It has the same magazine capacity. It has worse recoil, but honestly, the recoil is still really good. It has better than average assault rifle movement speed as well as having better than average assault rifle hip fire. So, yeah, this gun is just the better version of the M27. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like the M27's not great. This thing, pretty damn capable. That's basically it. Yeah, it's just a better M27. Like, honestly, it was also like not great for most of the game's history, but it's pretty good. Pretty decent, pretty brain is braining. Yeah. Pretty decent gun. Also, headshots. It does 10% extra damage on headshot, so it will reduce a bullet to kill. So getting headshots with this gun is actually a very good idea. So yeah, Type 25. It's pretty good. I don't have much to say about it. Like I said, I just think it's just the better version of the M27. Up next, the Vector K10. Ooh, you thought I was done shitting on guns? Nah, I got a fucking bone to pick with this gun. This gun also fucking sucks. Once again, dude, people who are bad at the game really like low recoil fucking guns. Now, I'll give the gun this much. It at least has a slightly better time to kill than the M27. That's really its only advantage because it has worse range. Debatably worse iron sights. I think it has worse iron sights. And what? Slightly better movement? That's about it. This gun fucking sucks. Again, this is like, people really overvalue recoil on guns. So yeah, definitely, its damage is 33 dropping to 18. The 33 only going up to about 14 meters, and then it will deal 22 damage up to about 22 meters, and then past that it'll deal 18 damage. That's not great. That's really not great. It has these, it has a better rate of fire then the M27, thankfully, with the 937 rather than the 750, does have a better magazine size at 36 as opposed to 30. The iron sights are fine, but the M27 is better iron sights. Yeah, this is another gun where it's just people liked it because it was easy to use. That's it. That is literally it. That is the only reason you like this gun. You like this gun because you were bad at the game at the time. And it's fine. Everyone's bad at the game sometimes, but I'm not going to call it good. Alright? You gotta be able to grow past that point and realize that the thing you were using was not good, you just sucked. And that's fine. That's what some of these guns are meant for. Right? There will be some guns that are just easier to use because it's just going to be the more accessible option. There will be guns that are harder to use but have higher reward for their difficulty of usage. That's how that works. This gun is not good. The M27 is also not good. There you go. That is my TED Talk. Stop overvaluing accuracy. And then, finally, we have the XPR. This is our final gun and our final sniper rifle. Now, this gun is semi-automatic. But, unlike the SVU, it actually does have some hit zone multipliers. It has a base damage of 95, dealing double damage on headshots, and 1.5 times damage on neck, chest, upper torso, and upper arms. So, basically, if you hit nipples up, you will one-shot. It has a rate of fire of 375, reasonable recoil, considering it does way more damage than the SVU. It has less recoil overall than the SVU, honestly, which is kind of surprising. You'll still probably want an optic, but do keep that in mind. 8 rounds, which is not the greatest, but 11 with extended, so you'll be fine. You can get some good one-shots. All in all, this gun is essentially a middle ground between the SVU and the bolt actions. And because of that, I'm gonna stick it in between those two. It goes in good, because it's better than the SVU, but it's not better than the Ballista or the DSR. So, yeah, there we go. That is our Call of Duty Black Ops 2 weapon tier list. Yeah. There's not many things in like I mentioned. Like, Black Ops 2 is an incredibly balanced game. In the right circumstances, even the things in can deal with the things up here in GOAT tier. Right? There's no long divides between tiers substantially, like there might be in some other games. Right? Like, everything here and here and there's a capability. Everything except pretty much the Executioner. Executioner is bad. Just straight up. Executioner, dog water. Don't use the Executioner. Everything else, pretty damn good. Bam. There we go. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come around for next time. Next time being tomorrow, where we will talk about the new Yu-Gi-Oh cards and do some Master Duel, because more full art cards got announced, and I have not read them yet. I have not read a single one. I read the old ones with a friend. I have not checked out these new ones, so we will check out the new ones and then do some Master Duel, because Legend Anthology is back, and I've been using Blue Eyes, so yeah, we got some duels that we can do when we get there. Thank you. I am going to lay down now and drink some tea. Later. Whee!